Hey, Mom's View.
Hello, Mom's View. Today, I am in charge of the Tuesday video, and I'm struggling with my words. So, I ran out of time.
Pregnant mind.
And I honestly had no idea what to do for today's Tuesday video. So I thought it would be fun to do a little segment on relationship advice. And we are hitting all the bumps.
Sorry, that's so
bumpy. Don't hit the bumps, honey.
I can't help it.
Honey, don't hit the bumps. Drive better. Okay, relationship advice. Get it? Okay.
Buy a hovercraft.
I'm just gonna have to hold this. Okay, so we're just gonna like try to shoot these off as fast as we can so we can get through all of them, just because you guys asked such good questions, and then that way it will become this like long drawn out thing. So let's try to do it in like 10 words or less. So I asked, what is some relationship advice that you have for me and my hubby? Our first question is from Haley Osland, and she asks Jackson or whoever, what do you like most about each other? This isn't really relationship advice, but
What do I like most about you?
I guess, or yourself. You want to go that angle? Long pause, not a good sign.
Oh, you want me to answer now?
No, just keep waiting and not answering at all.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Let's skip that one.
No.
That's not really good. That's not like relationship advice.
Why?
Okay, go ahead for it.
What do I like most about you? You got a big heart. You care about me. You put my needs before yours. You care if I'm happy. You want me to be happy. You want me to feel loved. You do things to make me feel loved.
That's nice. I would say that my husband tries harder more than anybody I know in the entire world, no matter what it is. Work, church, our relationship, anything. He always wants to be the very best at it, and that's very, very, very helpful in our relationship. Because there's times when I don't want to try, and he's like, nope, we're trying harder, we're being better. So
Thanks.
good job, honey. Your answer was a little more romantic. Okay, next question comes from Krista Vlogs. Hi, Krista.
Hey,
she
Krista.
asks, how do you know when you found the perfect person for you?
You feel it deep down in your soul. Down in your soul. And things line up.
I know, but there were
Barriers.
times in your life where you dated people that you thought they were great and they were the one, and then they weren't the one. So how do you know when it's like the one?
No. You know. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody you've ever dated or everybody you've ever told I love you to in the past, before you find the one, you meet the one and you know without a doubt. And I don't know how to explain it. The stars align. You've got a gut feeling. You just know. Unlike you knew in the past. So you look back and you think, okay, 5 years ago I knew this, right? No. Where I stand now, I look back, I didn't have a clue. And that like step up in knowing is how you know. You know what I'm saying?
I think relationships are something that you should be okay with failing with. I think that a lot of people think that you need to just find the one, but how do you know when it's the one? You're gonna go through a couple mishaps, but I think the thing for me personally was I never found anything that I doubted about Jackson. And in the past, I had so much doubt and so much things that I was trying to compensate for. You know, if there was something that that came up about us individual that I didn't like, I would try to compensate for it. And that is a huge red flag, because
They totally don't trust me, but they get me things all the time.
Yeah, because nobody is perfect, and obviously there's things with Jackson that aren't perfect. There's never been a moment in my life where I've ever doubted him in a sense of our relationship. And the feeling that I had with Jackson, like, and I always say this as a joke, it wasn't like an overwhelming sense of like fireworks, like, oh, he's the one. But with Jackson, I felt so much peace, and I had ever felt that before. And so that to me was like, that was my answer. But don't be afraid to fail, and don't be afraid to listen to yourself. And if you're compensating or covering up certain things just because you're wondering, then probably not a good sign.
Yeah, a lot of the time you'll just hide there and say, well, it's really good. Am I going to get anything better? If you think that there could be something better, then what you've got is wrong.
Yes. Okay, at Abby Skinner 3 asks, how do you know the guy you're seeing it right for you? Okay, wait, just
Well,
kidding.
he's totally fabulous.
We gotta just answer that one. At Leanne Miller asks, when you have disagreements, how do you deal with it as hubby? And I can't and I can't fully agree on discipline for our boys. This is a good one for us. So I think what she's kind of asking is, how do you handle it when you have disagreements about, like, with Cooper, like kids, or maybe even just house stuff? How do you get through those things? How do we get through those things?
Yeah, I got a piece of advice one time that if it's a small thing that doesn't matter in the big picture, and you're right, you swear you're right, and the other person swears that they're right, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. I mean, some things I would probably not have inside of our house, but...
Like what?
Well, we spent $600 at Target today. Would
See, I knew that's why I didn't want to take you shopping at Target, because I literally said every time we go to Target and I get something, you look at me like,
hear me out though.
Honey, you already have that.
Hear me out. I spent probably $600 on Cooper and I to go to jiu-jitsu and to buy gear and mouth guards and whatever. And is that something you would do? No. Right? Would I go to X store to buy X thing for my house? Probably not. Would you go to the gym? No. But do I care? No. Does it make you happy? Yes. Do I care about you being happy? Yes. Do you care about jiu-jitsu? No, not at all. You wouldn't spend a second of your day thinking about jiu-jitsu.
Says who?
I just know that that's the truth, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. But do you want me to be happy? You spend a lot of seconds of your day hoping I'm happy. So that's why it matters. But if it's a big thing, right? If it's a big issue, you sit down and talk. And one of the things my wife doesn't like to do is look at me in the eyes. But I've learned that once she's willing to look at me and I can like touch her leg and we can like be a little bit like close and intimate, then both of our walls come down and we can have real true discussion. So when I'm pissed off, I gotta cool down. When she's pissed off, I gotta cool down. But before we just never talk about it again, we've got to come together at some point, as much as it sucks and as much as I don't want to or she doesn't want to, and force conversation in like a calm manner. We always found a solution. I call it our relationship inventory.
I mean, I just think at the end of the day, how do you want to be in your marriage and your relationship? Do you want to be happy or do you want to be miserable? And the only way that you're going to find happiness is if you find common ground and you agree on the same things. There will never be happiness if you guys can't move on from something feeling good about it. And so I think the thing that I try to do, and I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I really try to like put myself in his shoes and see where he's coming from. I don't think that you ever need to completely understand your partner. It's not your job to understand them, because men just think different than women. Men have linear thinking and women think like this. So if I were to try to understand Jackson and the way he thinks, I would fail. But I try to empathize with maybe where his feelings and thoughts are coming from, and then that gives me a bigger perspective. I think that can really help in a relationship. But like I said, you don't have to understand somebody, you just have to empathize with them sometimes when it comes to certain feelings and decisions. But that one's a hard one, and I think that it will forever take a lot of practice for any couple. At Ellie Mae asks, do you think being married is harder than dating? How do you keep the relationship flirty and alive when married? This is a good one. I'm gonna go first and say no. Marriage is not harder than dating. It's harder in certain ways, but I would rather a million times be married than... Can you imagine dating again right now? Well, I would date you again. But going on dates with people and trying to like see if you're interested, oh, no thank you. I think keeping things alive, I think when we first got married, I had high expectations of like, he should bring me flowers and we should go on these romantic dates and I should dress up for him. But then I realized that sometimes like the romance is found in the small day-to-day things, like going grocery shopping together, or laying in your sweatpants all day together, or just like taking advantage of those moments where you do just get to be you two. And I think something that we do really well is we have a rule when we get into bed at night, like absolutely no phones, unless we're both on them doing something in agreement. We just turn our phones off, and that's like our us time. I think that's helped us. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to date again. I'm glad we're married. We go on dates, so we go out. I think to keep the romance alive is just being vulnerable. So it's really fun to have fancy getaways and go on fancy dates. Then you have reality of like obligations with work, budgeting, things like that. So you can find romance in like other areas, and just trying, just caring about your wife, right? If you're a man, then you just are able to find certain ways to keep it alive, right? You know what I'm talking about, fellas, don't you? And if you don't try, then keep trying, because you try, then she tries, and then you try, and then everything goes up, and the relationship gets better, and it gets stronger, and then it's fun to try. You know, I love going on dates. I love planning things. Everything I plan doesn't always go through, and that's okay. Like, I wanted to go camping last 2 weekends ago, but it just didn't work out, right? And I got home late from my flight last week, my work trip, but if you try and you show effort, then that keeps romance alive, and that keeps it flirty, and that's contagious. Does that make sense? I'm a relationship therapist, so you should listen to me. So
we're basically perfect. Okay, the last one is from AR Jewel. She asks, many times when people get married, they stop doing the things they did when dating. What do you guys still do that you did before? I think she means by that, like, I do think that life changes when you do get married a little bit. Dating, it's like, for us it was different because we lived in different states, so I do think that when we did see each other, it was just like non-stop, touchy-feely, but that was like kind of surfaced.
Is there a gas station off this exit? I'm gonna run out of gas.
Yeah, there should.
Sorry guys.
We might run out of gas, but I feel like that was just kind of surface of a relationship. I feel like now more than ever, like, we've gotten to such a place in our relationship where we can be around each other all day and hold hands and maybe kiss once or twice, but it's not like that dating phase where you're just googly-eyed constantly non-stop. But it's like more of a deeper connection. Like, we don't need that all the time to feel that. Does that make sense? Does that sound rude? Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, what reaffirms that we're in love to me is that we spend quality time. We don't necessarily have to be all over each other to have that affirmation.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be really nice. See how bright the sun is.
What I do is, I think the small things people worry about. So like, a lot of women get married to guys and they're like, oh, he's just gonna get fat. He's gonna turn into a fat effer. A heifer, right? And sure, I've gained weight or whatever, but like small things like that are what people worry about. So when we were dating, I used to wake up at the crack of dawn to go to work, and I would text her, right? And she said that she loved those things. So what I try to do now, even though I see her, I wake up, go work out, tell her that I love her before I go work out. I see her when I get home, I grab her butt, you know, annoy the heck out of her. But then when I'm driving to work, I usually always try to text her and tell her like I used to.
When he's like pulled off or stopped.
No, I text her while I'm driving on the freeway.
But just remember, thank you guys for watching. This is kind of long and kind of just like just advice thrown out there. Shot? I don't know why that word, again, pregnancy brain. But just remember real quick that no relationship is perfect. Everybody has their bumps and their ups and downs, and everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. But at the end of the day, you get to choose how you want your relationship. Do you want to work for it? Do you want to not work for it? And maybe you're the one that's giving and putting in more effort, but eventually I feel like your partner will come around. And
yeah, just keep trying.
Yeah, don't stop being loved.
Don't give up.
Okay, love you, bye.